Phones, TVs, even old satellites, everything played the same message. A strange alien face, cold and sharp, looked directly into the cameras. Behind it, a burning planet spun in silence. "This is a warning to Earth," the alien said in a low voice. "You have committed crimes against the galaxy. You attacked first, you killed millions, now war is here." People screamed. Power grids failed. Some thought it was a prank. But the satellite feeds didn't stop. In a small cabin far from the cities, Captain Yalan Cross stared at the screen. He didn't move. He knew this alien race. He had seen them 5 years ago, when Earth's first ship was destroyed. But he also knew something else. The humans never fired first. The footage he saw back then, it was different from what the galaxy believed now. He leaned forward, his voice calm but cold. "They're lying," he whispered. "And I'm going to show the universe the truth, even if it kills me." Outside, the stars remained silent, but Earth had just entered a war it never started. No signals, no lights, just an empty shell. At least, that's what everyone believed. But inside, Captain Yalan Cross moved through the dark, guided only by memory and an old map burned into his mind. He had been here before years ago, when the war had just begun. Back then, this station was full of diplomats, scientists, and alien ambassadors. Now it smelled of rust and old lies. Lyra, his tech expert, followed behind, her boots echoing on the metal floor. "What are we looking for, Yalan?" she whispered. He stopped in front of a sealed panel. The truth, hidden by the peace order, buried before the first shot was ever fired. With shaking hands, Lyra hacked the lock. The panel opened. Inside was a small black cube, an old surveillance recorder. They played the footage. The moment played in. Silence. An alien ship, disguised to look like a human cruiser, opening fire first. Lyra stared in horror. "We didn't start the war." Jalan's jaw clenched. "No, but now we finished the lie." Jalan's crew barely had time to duck as fire ripped across the old station's outer wall. The shockwave sent their ship spinning, alarms blaring. "They found us," shouted Sato, grabbing the flight controls. Outside, a fleet of sleek black ships moved in fast, marked with the symbol of the Galactic Peace Order. But these weren't peacekeepers. They were hunters. Lyra clutched the recorder cube tightly. "They're trying to erase the evidence." Yalan looked at the enemy ships closing in. They already knew we had it. They've been watching the station, waiting for someone like US to show up. A laser blast shook their ship again. Shields failed. Engines sputtered. But Sato pulled hard, sending the ship into a sharp dive toward Earth's lower orbit. "We won't outrun them," Mriv growled from the weapons console. "Not without help." Yalan opened a secure line. "We don't need to run. Just survive long enough to tell the truth." Behind them, the peace order chased them like wolves, desperate to silence the one thing they feared. Proof. The moon world hung between two gas giants. Cold, beautiful, and forgotten. Long ago, it hosted peace talks. Now its surface was cracked and abandoned. Jalan's ship touched down near the ruins of the old treaty halls. Dust rose as they stepped out, weapons drawn. "Stay close," he warned. "If there's a truth left in this war, it's buried here." Inside the shattered building, ancient servers hummed quietly, still alive after all these years. Lyra plugged into the system. Her fingers moved fast. "There's something here," she said. Original communication logs. Emergency broadcasts. From 5 years ago. One file stood out. A video sent from the Vorak fleet before the war officially began. It showed a ship firing on a peace envoy. And the source? Not human. Before they could react, the doors behind them slammed shut. An assassin stepped from the shadows, tall, armored, and silent. Mriv froze. "That uniform, it's from my people." He raised his weapon. "Why would one of us protect a lie?" The assassin didn't answer, only attacked. Jalen's team had barely escaped Velos alive. Mriv's arm was burned. Lyra limped, and the data cube was cracked, but the truth inside it still worked. They reached the edge of neutral space, calling on old allies captains from alien races who once questioned the war. Some listened. Others DIDN, single quotes T.1 old friend, Captain Drex of the Narthian fleet, met them on a silent asteroid base. You have proof? He asked. JALE and nodded. The Vorik fired first. The footage is real. But Drex's eyes turned cold. Then I'm sorry. Doors burst open. Dozens of soldiers surrounded them, not Drex's men, but Peace Order operatives. It was a trap. They're too afraid of the truth. Lyra whispered as she and Yalen were dragged away, now prisoners aboard a Peace Order ship. The team was split and locked in high-security cells. But even in chains, Lyra smuggled out one message. I found someone. A witness. She's alive. She saw everything. Her name? Commander Illyra, the only survivor of the first attack. And she was being held deep in Sector Black, buried in the shadow of a dying star. It was a secret prison where the Peace Order hid those they wanted the universe to forget. Torture, silence, and shadows filled its walls. Yalen and his team broke in using stolen codes and a hacked transport ship. Alarms blared the second they stepped inside, but they didn't stop. Level by level, they searched, fighting past guards and sealed doors until they found her. Commander Illyra. She sat alone in a dark cell, thin and pale, but her eyes still burned with fire. You were on the first envoy ship? Yalen asked. She nodded. I saw the Vorik attack our own allies. I recorded it. Sent the warning to Earth. Why didn't anyone hear it? Lyra asked. They did, Illyra said. But someone in Earth Command buried it to protect a secret alliance. Jalen's voice was cold. Then the galaxy didn't just lie. So did Earth. With Illyra's testimony and the footage, they now had everything. But Sector Black was closing in fast. And escape would be hell. Jalen's stolen ship burst out of Sector Black just seconds before the prison's cannons opened fire. Explosions lit the void. Ahead, dozens of bounty hunters waited, called in by the Peace Order to hunt the traitors spreading lies. Lyra shouted, They've jammed every channel. We can't send the truth. Yalen didn't blink. Then we take it straight to the source. Their only hope, the galactic core, a massive network hub deep in the heart of neutral space. If they could upload the footage there, every planet, every ship, every station would see the truth. But it was protected by the Vorik High General, the very one who started the war. Mriv stared out at the stars. That's suicide. Yalen turned to his crew. No, it's justice. And we only need one shot. Sato hit the thrusters. Behind them, warships closed in. In front of them, the galaxy's most secure system. But inside their ship was the one truth powerful enough to bring down empires. Dozens of ships patrolled the massive satellite ring, orbiting a blazing blue sun. It wasn't just a data hub, it was the heart of all galactic communication. If they could reach the central tower, they could broadcast to billions. But the Vorik were ready. Their High General waited with an armada, guarding the truth like a god. Jalen's crew split up. Sato and Yalen took the ship into a wild decoy flight, dodging fire and drawing enemy fleets into a chase. Meanwhile, Lyra and Mriv, cloaked and silent, slipped through the station's underbelly heading toward the data core. Illyra, disguised in an old officer's uniform, marched straight into the control center. She plugged in a drive, preparing the broadcast. But alarms screamed. The Vorik general had seen through their plan. Troops flooded the corridors. Jalen's ship took a direct hit. Smoke poured in. Lyra whispered into her cum. If we fall here, no one will ever know the truth. Yalen, bloodied but alive, answered coldly. Then we don't fall. We burn their lie down. Images from the stolen footage played one after another, clear proof that the Vorak fired first, not humans. The secret lies the peace order had hidden for years were now exposed to millions. Reactions came fast. Some worlds erupted in protests. Fleet commanders refused orders. Alliances shattered. The Vorak High General's forces panicked, turning on each other in chaos. Ships once loyal were now lost in confusion and rage. Jalen's voice echoed through the broadcast. The war was never ours to start. It was a lie made to divide us. Now the truth is free. Across the stars, hope sparked where there had been only fear, but not everyone welcomed the change. Some saw this as the beginning of a new battle, one fought not with weapons, but with power and secrets. Earth was no longer the enemy. But the fight for the galaxy's soul had only just begun. Jalen and his crew returned to Earth as heroes. The galaxy now saw humans as survivors, not enemies. Peace talks began, and old enemies started to listen. But Yalen knew better. The lies were broken, but new threats had risen from the shadows. Powerful forces feared the truth, and they would stop at nothing to keep control. Standing beneath the stars, Yalen looked to the future. They built their war on lies, he said softly. We ended those lies, but now we must build a new future. The galaxy was changing fast. Old secrets, new alliances, and dangers yet unseen waited in the dark. Yalen tightened his grip on his weapon. The fight for peace had only just begun. And this time, humanity would lead the way.